Hey people, Anthony 4B4Ds. We've got a BFE job happening. You know how to do the BFG because you've seen all the videos, and so not much for me to say here, everyone. But let's just quickly go through it. You know, let's do it like an instruction thing where I also do that, and then you'll knock it off, and then I'll come back and give you the next level. So you've already got this off, so that's good. So we'll just put that out of the way. So we're going to disconnect the negative battery terminal and secure it away so it's not going to accidentally reconnect with that little 10 mil on the end there. So that's the first thing we're going to do. We've already dropped the coolant. So if you haven't dropped your coolant, you're going to drop your coolant. We're going to remove this radiator hose. We're going to remove the power steering reservoir out of the way. So whether you want to take out the nuts or take it out of the bracket, whatever you want to do. Remove this hose, these bolts to remove the header tank, if you like, the overflow bottle, the clamp off the bottom of it. Work at that slowly. There's a plug down on the side of the radiator here you got to unplug. Let's have a look. Is there one at this side? I can't remember, any clips, plugs, see that plug there, another one down there. All right, so unclip, unplug those. So, because we got to then work on getting the fan bolts undone. I'd recommend getting those nuts undone before you take the belt off because the belt helps hold this from turning. So you can actually get a 12 mil sort of just bang and they're not super tight. They'll come undone. And once you've got all that stuff out of the way, more or less, you'll be lifting the fan and the fan shroud out together. They come in and out together as an assembly. But just take your time. If you feel something pulling or you've forgotten the plugs or the clips or just keep an eye on those things, have a look at that's right, I forgot that. And, take a step backwards. So get that out of the way. It might make it easier if you want actually, the air box has got to come out because we've got to get the compressor off. We're not taking the pipes off the bloody aircon hoses, the pipes letting all the gas out, just these mounting bolts here, but we'll get to that a bit later in the video. But by getting the airbox out first might make you a bit more room to work on things like this and get into those plugs because you can get access to get down there. So maybe airbox can come out first, so that clamp, take the top off, take the bottom half of the airbox out, just get, whole airbox has got to come out, so you get the picture. Okay. So we'll just run through a bit more while we're at it. So once we've done that, so we're going to leave the timing belt assembly together at the moment. We're going to work towards getting, once we get all that off, then we'll take the compressor off. We'll be able to sit it back here on a couple of rags so it doesn't scratch the car. The alternator, we're going to remove the wire, the little 10 mil, the plug, the top and bottom, the whole alternator's got to come off because this has got the one-piece water pump on it, original water pump at 150K. So it's going to be quite a big job to get it off. Once all that's off and that we're ready to take the water pump off, that's when we're going to take the timing belt off, the cover, sorry. At that point, probably, we'll give it all a good wash down and reverse flush this radiator with a pressure washer pushing back this way. And then once that's done, we'll complete changing the rest of the timing belt, blow it all dry, compress there, make sure it's all clean and dry. And we'll just get the timing belt off, get it all clean. We'll get the new water pump on. That's when we'll change your water pump because we're not going to blow bugs and dirt and stuff from here into the engine. So once the new water pump's on, then we'll put the new timing belt assembly all back together because that goes over the top of the water pump and then get the alternator. So that's the sort of order of business we're going to get rolling with things. So what are you going to do? You're going to do the airbox first? Okay, so you do the battery. That's what I mean, battery, because it's going to be disconnected for the whole job. Battery off, airbox out, and then work on these other things we talked about to get the fan shroud and the fan out. See those 4 little bolts? They're 14 mil. All right, you're going to need your 10 mil tools for things like this. The fan shroud each side. Don't forget those plugs down on the side of the fan shroud. And they there might be some clips where the plugs clip in, you got to remove, something like that.
I do remember
something like that anyway.
Yeah.
It's pretty straightforward, just follow your nose and you'll figure it out. So you got the hose on the bottom of this. That's the only hose.
Is there a hose clipped on down?
Well, yeah, that hose might clip. You just get step by step, get the airbox, get the bottle, and you'll just follow your nose. Anything exciting, we'll chuck it in the video. Okay, so we're making a bit of progress here. Instructions soon be said you go. Just pop those clips out there. So 2 clips down there, 2 at this side. How many at that side? What'd you have over that side? Nothing, just 2 at this side. If there was a plug or something down there, not connected to anything.
On
Good. That's good to remember. So there you go. Get the airbox out, made it easy to access everything. Clamp on the bottom of the bottle. Obviously, you figured out to remove. Fan shroud sort of clipped in on that hose, no big deal. Prado's a little bit harder to get the clip off. So on the HILUX, next thing we'll do, so just again, to make more room. Look, you can leave that if you want. You don't have to take that, I suppose. So one of the next things we'll do is we need to remove this nut so that this clamp just comes with the compressor, take these 4 bolts out. Don't undo these, whatever you do, right? Just the 4 bolts mounting the compressor of the car, and then we'll carefully bring the compressor. So you can just check on my instructions, make sure it's about right. Follow your nose and bring the compressor on some rags, sit it over here. Obviously you have to take the belt off first. You've already got the fan and the nuts off. So to get the belt off, this is your tension here. So 14 mil, bit of pressure on that one, you'll be able to pop the belt off. Doing that now. That'll do it. Push down. That's it. Now just pick whichever one you want. Pull the belt off. Probably just slide it off this one here even. Yeah. Whichever one you want. Then once it's off, slowly release that. Because you don't need to. Yeah. And then you can put your tool away and take the belt off. Careful of that. You just hit that, mate. Like you didn't hit this one. Just be careful of this one. Plastic radiators, 10 years old. Nothing wrong with them. But if you belt them with a heavy tool, might not be. You'll be going, oh look, it was all brittle. Like everyone said, they're prone to breaking. Okay. All right, belt out of the way. That's rubbish. Just throw that over there. Just chuck it right there, mate. Just throw it. That's it. Over there. Beautiful. We'll take this pulley off. Sit that up on top of the intercooler will do. That won't be in the way up there. Yep, that's the spot. Okay, so what we need to do now, compressor off. Double check we've got the battery disconnected. We're ready for a clean out here. Like I said, so 1, 2, 3, and there's some washers in front and behind. Just lay them out on the bench or somewhere over here on that temporary workbench we've got there. In the order they are, you know, top, bottom, so you know which one's which. So it's easy for you to remember, you know, top, bottom, put the top one at the top, or, you know, lay it down. These 4 bolts off, and then plastic off this, wire off, carefully undo the plug on the back of the alternator. Top and bottom bolts on the alternator you'll figure out. Once you get that out of the way and the alternator off, then the actual tension of the whole assembly, we'll get to a bit more on video. So this is what we're working on now over this side, getting all this gear off.
Roger.
All right. Go for it. Here, flying along, beautiful. Okay, like literally that was 3 minutes. No, just joking. But so the alternator's off, just to show everyone. The little main wire. That's why we disconnect the battery. Otherwise, that's a positive from, you know, such as there, shorts out. Let's not touch it anyway. But accidents happen. And the plug, sometimes they can be really tight. You just got to press that tab, and if you're lucky, it'll come off. But see all the dust inside there. That's kind of why, yeah, a lot of wiggling and that sort of thing. So that, and then you got your top and bottom bolt. Your top bolt, obviously, main one goes through there, and your bottom bolt down there. Whatever, anyway. Did you loosen that as well? Yeah, that's good. Makes it all easy to put it on and off later. Should go straight back on. So alternator's off. Compressor's out of the way over here on the rags, as recommended. Beautiful. Now, so this is the tension assembly we have to get rid of. And this is why we replace this bearing, because it can fail being low, and there's only one bearing in there. It has happened to people. And this assembly is about $500 and probably not available in stock, and it leaves your car at the dealer waiting for parts. And of course, being a big job, you know, 4-figure job, you know, so it hurts. So you just do this, and for less than 4 figures you get the BFE kit, and you just do the whole timing belt needs to be, you do everything, all the bearings, all the belts, everything, in happy days. The water pump, we know it leaks eventually. Can't wait to get this one off. It's probably not leaking, but
sometimes they have a little telltale there, don't
they? Yeah, or underneath it could have. So we'll see when we get it off, because I wouldn't be surprised yet. So now to get to the tensioner, pretty obvious. You can see where are the bolts that mount the tensioner.
That one.
Those two, yeah.
That one, and there might be one underneath.
There's two, and there might be one hidden down under here or something anyway, but just have a look. When it falls off, you know you got all the bolts, so yeah. So get that off, and then take the timing belt cover off, but none of the other timing gear. And I reckon while it's like that is a good time to give it a wash. Let me just think, are we going to take it all off? Give it a wash. Yeah, no, that's it. So what we'll do, we'll just take the timing cover off and take off the timing belt tensioner oil. We'll take it all off. So we'll give it all a wash down all around here while the water pump's still there. And then last, we'll take the water pump off, put the water pump on, you know, blow it all dry, put the timing belt back on, the cover back on first. Then we can actually start the car if we want it. Or we can't actually, because we've got to put the alternator back, connect that to put the battery back. But then we could start the car if we wanted to. Just saying, you know, just talking, just thinking out loud. But yeah, so what are we doing? We're taking off the tensioner, and then all the timing belt cover and the assembly, and then we're going to give it a wash, give it a clean up. Beautiful. Do that. All right, what's going on here? What are you up to?
Oh, I got myself in a bit of trouble here, I think.
Yeah, what's going on?
I took the tensioner off the belt, before I got this lined up on top dead center.
Oh no!
What are we going to do?
Exactly. No, it's all good, right? So, see the belt's still tight on this side and nothing's turned. So, get the old tensioner, put it in the vise, gently bring it in, hydraulic, you know, nice and slow. That one, yeah, that's it. And then put a pin in, an old little Allen key or whatever you want through that hole into there to hold it in. Then bring it something small enough though you can actually fit it down here, not something that's 2 foot long, because that won't work. Right, bring it back, put your two 10mm bolts back in, put it back the way it was, you know, lift that up, put the tensioner down there where it goes, and it's good practice for when you do it the right way. Once you've got it back on, 22mm on the crankshaft down there, turn the engine over till you get the mark to the top. You can double check the other marks as per what the video says. Heaps of videos on timing belt marks and all that. Make sure it's right. And if you go to turn the engine and it stops and it jams, don't force it, because maybe something did happen with this belt. But at the moment it looks to me like nothing's, you know, it's tight, nothing's changed, nothing's going to move. Just don't bump that up or down. Well, at the end of the day, even if that came off, you just put it back on so it's tight on this side, as long as you haven't turned the top or the bottom, which you haven't, because you already cracked this loose before you took the belt off as well, because that's in the video as well. Beautiful. So yeah, just keep that like that. We don't want that coming around anymore, if you know what I mean.
Roger.
So is that clear for everyone? Should we just say, yeah, reset that, put it back on. That'll get this side tight. Turn the engine over from the 22mm down the bottom on the crankshaft, that one down there, clockwise until this mark lines up with that mark, and there's a couple other marks, check them all. And then you can take this back off again and then just remove this, take the belt off. It'll be all Mickey Mouse. But if any time it doesn't turn, don't force it, because something's wrong. And it'll turn. And don't worry about the new marks on the belts, because once you put it on and turn it, we'll get to that later in the video, all right? So that's what we're doing now, reset that, kind of practice, put it back together.
Right.
And then we'll get it lined up. Then we'll get it all off and continue and clean it up. Beautiful. What's going on? How'd you go? Did you reset that tension?
Yeah,
put it back on.
Good practice for later.
Lined up, turn no problem. Got the top mark here, that one there, lined up with that one there.
There's that washer you were telling me about.
Yeah, don't lose that washer behind. You don't get a new one of those, it's got to stay there. So now he's going to take this off. Don't lose the keyway in behind there. So bolt, washers, whatever, pulley, bit of a tap, it'll come off, but there's a keyway in there, don't lose that. And then your bolts in your backing plate. You'll see, pretty straightforward. There's a couple behind the pulley, couple further down. And that can all come off, and then it's clean-up time. What's this? What a bubble bath, mate. Have you seen this bubble bath going on down here? Mate, giving the HILUX a bubble bath. This is the first HILUX that's ever had a bubble bath. That's beautiful. Look at it. Bubbles blown away. Beautiful. Look at that. It's looking better. It's looking like a new one, mate. That radiator, that cooling system, that engine. It's going to be happy because it's working back to, you know, near new condition, as opposed to, you know, full of bugs and dust and dirt. Beautiful. So we'll give this a bit more of a dry up with the compressed air, particularly around the supply pump area and that, because see, this has all got to be clean and dry, because we're going to use a bit of RTV in the bottom of that guard and put that back on eventually. You can either pull that off or leave it. That one's because it's a bit broken. We'll probably pull it off, any loose bits. Otherwise you can sit there and clean the whole lot off, spend half an hour in there if you want trying to get it off. But we just leave it factory. Generally it doesn't look like, you know, sort of quite, you know, bits loose like that, you know.
They kind of miss the mark.
Yeah, that's it, exactly. So that one we might just pull it off. But then normally then you just use a small amount, and it's like you're gluing the cover to the old silicone as opposed to redoing the whole job, which, you know, we're using the same grey business, whatever. So, all right, so what are we doing now? We're going to clean it up a bit, dry it up a bit more. And we're going to swap the water pump next, don't we? Not leaving that old water pump there. So now this is the whole point of it. So because the water pump, it goes behind. So that backing plate covers here, and there's a couple of bolts in here that you can't get to. Just like over here, that tension, it goes over the top of here. That's why we're going to upgrade you to the two-piece pump. Never do this crap again. Compressor stays there, alternator stays there, timing belt can stay there to change the water pump, because just the front section from here will come off. It's a no-brainer, really, you know. So, but apparently it wasn't a no-brainer, because this is what they did.
They worked it out later.
That's it. And I said, you know, we'll just do a two-piece pump. Other people do a two-piece pump, but then they try and tell people, oh, but you've still got to change the back piece every time you do. You know, they're trying to get work, whatever, I guess, you know. I'm telling you, mate, you use genuine coolant. You want to have a look how clean the cooling system is. We'll just pop those dingers off there, and happy days. Always nice to do a BFE job outside in the sunshine. Yeah, normally you get those ones first, but if you forgot about them, you get them last. Is that what happened?
No,
You kind of didn't know about them?
no, I didn't know. Yeah.
Even though I just said those couple of hidden ones
Yeah,
behind where the cover normally is.
I don't listen, mate. Yeah.
Well, a lot of people don't listen, so yeah, it's all pretty normal, you know.
Thanks.
Doesn't matter.
Thanks. So, is there one hidden down here somewhere?
How many you got out?
Feels like.
Let's have a look, right? There's 1, 2, 3. There's one down the bottom here. Let me see around this side. 4, 5. Hang on a sec. What are we doing? I don't even know how many bolts there are apparently. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe there's only 5. Plus those other 2. I thought there was 6. What's going on there?
Walking in the mud, mate.
No, there's another one at the bottom. Oh no, that's on the. That's it. Yeah, well, you'll soon see how many there are. Well, let's get it off up here and count how many there actually are. And let us know in the comments
Oh, look at that.
how many
That's
there are.
beautiful.
Oh no, you got to look, they corrode out, mate. You got to change the whole backing plate every time. I mean, this is outside, that bit of corrosion, whatever. I'm just looking at inside in there, mate. You don't,
Without a core.
you don't touch it. So how many bolts are there? Can you count them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's start here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So where was I getting 6 from? I don't know. I thought there was 6 plus those 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Obviously there's 5.
What's
So
going on there?
it's just taking a little P. That's a 1kp, not a 1kg. Yep, that's what it is. Well, that's your cylinder. Well, it's kind of in between, you know, that's where the court's running through there as well.
So why we do this job? Looks like there's nothing wrong with it.
That's right, nothing wrong with it. So,
Don't
I'm
want
gonna-
to let us down.
I'm going to assume that's a trick question. So I'll answer it anyway, even though most people watching, they're subscribed with the bell on, they watch heaps of videos, they really want to get themselves educated, so they know the answers, but I'll answer anyway. The answer is, because you put all this back together and you don't change that. Well, let's say you didn't do this and you just changed the timing belt and you change the coolant. Say you're at 150, 160k, coolant's due at 160, so you got to do the coolant. So you do the coolant, do the timing belt, pull half of the stuff on you, do the timing belt. And like we said, your tensioner might fail. So you go, well, you know, let's do the tensioner bearings as well, you know. And you see cracks in the drive belt, so you go, well, let's do the drive belt. So you're doing all of that. And you're doing everything but the water pump, let's just say. Because you're going, timing belt, yeah, well, you know, you got to check the idler. Oh, let's just change them because it's 150k, because that's a long time. You want it's your engine if it fails, right? So for an extra couple $100, you just do the whole lot, except the water pump. Just spin it around for a sec. Has it got a bearing in it? Give it a spin. Sometimes you reckon there's a bearing in there? Do you reckon if there's coolant this side and not at that side, do you reckon there's a seal in there?
Must have.
Exactly right. So we just left it there. We do all this job. We put it all back together. And water pumps don't usually make 300,000. So then at 180,000 k's, you just pull it all
Get to have
apart
all this
again and
fun
just
again.
do it all over again and waste your coolant and, you know, whatever. Yeah. So that's why, right? But let's have a look on this water pump at the spin it around. Let's say any leaks, any external leaks on the other side. Not worried about this side, but have a look around here. What about around the bottom in there? In this, no, nothing in there. Do you mind spinning around to the camera side so the camera can see? That's it. That's the one. Because yeah, you get it coming out there. But this one, it's not leaking. So if you want, we can put it back on. What do you reckon?
No,
Save
thanks.
a couple $100.
No thanks. I like working on cars. We're not that much.
Okay, so yeah, that's about it really. So I suppose I better go find a water pump for you. All right, I'll do that. We've got the new water pump there, beautiful. So how many bolts were that held that one? So now it's got extra bolts, isn't it? Because it's got that extra one there that the HILUX doesn't have. That's why the count was a problem before. There was 7 before, now there's 8. So we just pulled off that excess bit of RTV. Now we're just going to run the RTV along there, yeah? I reckon you don't need a lot, just on the bottom side of the hole only, obviously. Beautiful. Yeah, it's hard to do with a tube, and even if you use the little nozzle thing, it just dries up by the time you're going to use it next time, and you can't next time. So might as well get used to doing it. That's what I do. I just do that. Beautiful. And then the backing plate will go back on. Oh yeah, so that just goes back in there like that, does it?
I'm just trying to line up the stud at the top here. There we go.
And then the bottom will just go in place. Beautiful. Just keep it in there. Put all the nuts and bolts on. What's the torque setting on these? On the water pump, what do we do? 13, wasn't it?
13, yeah.
Did that feel right, 13?
Beautiful, yeah. Felt good, yeah.
Funny that,
10 more bolt.
Yeah. What do you reckon these are? Do you reckon they're, I reckon they're less. Look, I wouldn't worry about putting 13 on those. Just go nicely with a quarter drive, I'm thinking. Because I don't actually know. Could be 5 or 8 or somewhere around there. People can put in the comments, let us know.
You reckon we should put a little bit of grease on them or something?
It's up to you, you want it?
I don't like the corrosion. It annoys me.
Who does? Probably a good option then, you know. Couple more BFEs and you can put new bolts in there. That'll be 450,000 goes. The car will be 30 years old. Because they'll be all right at the next one and the one after that. But you know, you go, we'll put new bolts in there. At 30 years old. 30 years old, eh? Another 20 years. Still have it then, you reckon?
I think so, the way it's going. No plans of moving it on anywhere at the moment.
Keep it anyway, yeah. Unless
what would I change it for?
What can't we talk about in videos that are going on YouTube? What if they're going to ban diesel? What if maybe they're going to, you know, you'll get fined for you can't buy the fuel already.
Just get an electric conversion put in.
$7 a
With a
litre.
diesel generator.
What are they going to do, mate? Yeah,
Diesel generated electric.
Who knows where it's going to go?
Put a hydrogen motor. Turnkey.
Camshaft pulley going on. So we're not going to try and tighten this now because we'll turn the camshaft and push the valves into the piston.
No good.
That's it. So just finger tight, and you probably want a tensioner and an idler and a timing belt.
That'd be great.
Just sit on the bench waiting for you. So what are you still doing standing here? So the tensioner, new tensioner, part of the BFE kit. 2 10mm bolts. Yeah, I reckon these are 13 as well. So it's up to you if you want a quarter drive. Feels about right, or I think they're 13. Pretty sure. So now we've got the idler going in. It's going to sort of sit on top of the tensioner, ready for action. And that's pretty sure what I say, 35 Newton meters. The bolt, the 10mm hex. Yeah. So could be wrong, subject to being wrong, you know. So double check that. But
how do we double check it?
Search in the groups on Facebook, mate. 4x4 diesel VIPs. Talk. One word, or it'll come up. Pretty sure this one's 98. Not talk. T-O-R-K. No, we've got plenty of that going on already. So. Look at that, timing belt's on. So, how do you know that's right?
I've got the mark on there. All still lined up.
Yeah, any other marks?
Yeah.
So that one there, that one definitely lines up there. This side of the belt's tight, so that's good. So the one down there on the front, that'd have to be lining up as well, wouldn't it? Yeah. And there's another one as well, but where's that? Down here somewhere, I don't need a light. Where is it? Over this side. I can't even see, it's round the side somewhere. Too low, we can't see down there, I'm not climbing down there. Yeah. Is it lined up?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Well, nothing's
should
moved.
be. It could not be, would it?
Yeah.
So that's tight, and these are tight, those two. It's just this we've got to not forget to tighten up, right? So the point is everyone needs to just slow down and triple check before they put the cover on, because if they do it in this order and they get a bit rushed or distracted, mate, leave that loose, bye-bye engine.
Bye-bye.
So it's pretty critical to just stop and slow down and think, did you do everything? So at this point, it's time to pull the pin on the grenade, I reckon. What do you reckon?
3, 2, 1. That was a bit anticlimactic, wasn't it?
That looks pretty good, yeah.
Do you want
Speaking
that
of climatic, do you want to get rid of the frangers? We don't need those now. Get rid of those. Throws water all over everything. Not going to matter, but that's what the compressed air. That's what the compressed air is for. We'll blow that off.
Here's the climatic bit.
Yeah, pretty funny all that water going everywhere. So we've blown that dry. We need to tighten this up. So what you need is normally we get a long bar, the 22, but you know, whatever we've got handy, we'll do. You know, we've got a couple of hands here to help out. So yeah, torque wrench is what you want on there, unless you're just going for tight, like real tight, F tight. What do you want to call it?
Let's torque it.
Let's torque it, I reckon.
Going up this way.
2 hands on the job. This is DIY style with a mate. DIY with a mate. Okay.
Double trouble.
Lean on that radiator plastic thing or whatever. Remember this? Yeah. Yeah, double check, beautiful. That's 98, beautiful. All right, now while you're there, Danny, what we'll do now, I'll swoosh it over to a ratchet. So let's take that off carefully without hitting his radiator, because he'll go crook if we put marks in his radiator, because it's like a new one now after that. Chuck that socket on this ratchet, and then just turn the engine over a little bit, and that'll confirm that everything is right, because if it doesn't turn, not good, mate. It means we didn't keep enough of an eye on him. It should turn freely, just spin it over at your leisure, give it a few cranks. If there was a problem, we would have hit a valve already, it wouldn't turn. So happy days, mate. We'll just leave it at that. Beautiful. And always remember to take that back out, because they fly pretty well when you leave it in there when you crank it over.
Does this want a bit of molly coat on this seal here?
From memory.
I think I saw a video about it. Bloke made a video.
It's just going to help, you know, close up the gap a little bit, because they don't seal 100%. Keep a little bit more dust out. That's what we do. Because at least then when it, you know, molly coat's not going to harm anything, you know, if it ends up anywhere else. Like greases, you know, messes with rubber and that. So I just reckon it helps close up the gap a bit. But if you hit it hard with a pressure washer at the top and the degree, you're just going to push straight through the cover. So a bit of water does get into here. I'm not saying they stay dry. It'd be good if they did, but they don't. They stay pretty dry. It's mainly dust. But if dust can get in, water can get in. Just do your best to keep it out. That's why 150k. All new gear, mate. It's all clean, dry, original, factory, made in Japan. Good for another 150. All right, so the timing cover's on. As I just said, don't over tighten these, because you just pull the pieces out the backing. Tensioner, alternator, compressor, all that stuff back on this side now, I think. And once all that's in, kind of throw the fan and everything back on, isn't it? We've got to change those bearings as well. So the bearings and the pulleys and that, I don't think we'll worry about showing any of that. Is that the right bolt? That's cool what you're doing there. I'm waiting to see how that works out.
What am I doing here?
We'll try lowering it down to the right spot. No. Yeah, let's do this. Come on. Yeah, come on. This is good. I like it. Everyone at home's having a bit of a chuckle at the moment.
Down here.
Well, not everyone, but you know.
Yeah, what am I doing here? That and that go there. Yeah. That's right. Well, I won't do that then. What are those bolts from? They're bigger bolts. There. So what do I
next
pull
to
off?
the cube.
They might be the pulleys then. Yeah, so we'll follow the cue, maybe one of the pulleys there. What is this next, maybe? This next. No, because that's only got two.
It's got 4.
No comment.
Oh, yeah. But we've got to change a bearing in here, eh?
Yeah, but you just undo that bolt and take the whole thing off. So that's easy to undo while it's on the car. Normally we take that bolt out. I did say that earlier in the video, take those 3 bolts out. But you took 2, but that's all right. So just put it back on and then take it off.
I was wondering what that was about. You said 3, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, I did. So you
I
can
only saw
confirm.
2. I was like, oh, well, whatever.
The other
Maybe
one
just
disappeared.
because, you know, sometimes you say things, but you don't really,
That's it.
you forget
Sometimes
something.
it's a trick.
Yeah.
Look at that though. Beautiful. It's all a bit of fun anyway.
Every bolt has a hole. Don't try and fit it in.
So this looks like it's only got 4 bolts holding it anyway, 2 at the front, 2 at the side. There's no hidden one down under there, is there? I like to check these things because I don't remember stuff.
I don't
It's
think
just
so.
the 2 at the back.
I remember.
2 at the front, 2 at the back.
Big one, yeah.
Big one goes at the top here.
Big grease
Not
on
bad, I'm even helping as well. 3 people on the job now. You got the bolts, I got the wire out of the way.
Expensive BFE.
4 hands on deck.
That's it. Altogether could work out to nearly $500 an hour. This could be a new record. a good way to show how the alternator mounts anyway with it all pulled off, because everyone normally goes into the side, and we do want to change your alternator video. It's kind of a bit hard to see what's going on. Well, this is what's going on, isn't it? That's why you watch all the videos. This might not be the how to change the alternator video, but it's kind of included in the chit chat BFE video, whatever. And then there's one down the bottom that if you're watching other videos, you would have seen the bracket at the bottom, and bolt's about to go in there, and this plug's about to go. Like that. Is this the nut I've got to take off again? You can't camera and work at the same time.
No, who
You
said?
can't do that.
He's got 3 hands himself.
If we have
Look at the
3
progress
people
now,
working,
mate.
this'll
It's all happening.
it'll
now.
happen too quick if there's 3 people work on it.
Well, I'd say 2.5. Something fucking.
Don't over tighten this, yeah, you might snap something. It's just, you know, a bit of plastic and stuff, but we need a 10 mil to nip it up before it gets forgotten.
There you go,
Please.
quarter drive on the 10 mil.
Beautiful.
Someone having a shot.
Yeah, was that bang bang, was it? Yeah. Nice. Did you do the top one already? Did I miss that? Lucky I had the video going. Alright, 10 mil. Someone left one of these a bit loose and it was coming off and cooking or something from memory too. You remember seeing those photos somewhere? Look at that. And that clicked, didn't it, before?
It certainly
You saw
did.
that click, right? So that's all, alternator's all 100%. Beautiful. So,
Compressor bracket on.
compressor bracket up here, yeah. Just keep the camera rolling, mate. Bit into, we got some action happening there instead of stuff. So that's basically, yeah, I should say something about that. See those 2 marks there? That shows, I can't remember which one's which, but basically it shows you where a new belt sits and where an older belt sits, and when it gets past this mark, you need to change it. It's like stretch too much sort of thing, yeah? You have to look in the book and work out which one's which, though, because I can't remember, but once it's
If you
together,
follow
we'll
the
be able to
BFE
see.
schedule,
Exactly. If you just do what we say, change it every 150, you don't need to worry about what those marks are. That's why I don't really know. I know that's what they are, and you can easily look and go, yep, okay, now it's, but it's probably never going to get to, you got to change the belt.
yeah.
You're going to change it at 150.
So is this where this goes? Let's see if we can work that out. Try it, give us a few bolts and
We'll
try
try
it.
and work that out. And what I'll say to anyone that's going to watch this video, go into your Toyota dealer and say, did you check the drive belt? And watch them go, oh yeah, we checked it, it's all okay. So there's no cracks, no. And what about the stretch, you know, the markings for, so it wasn't due by those for replacement? And they'll go, what? They'll look at you like you're looking at me now. They'll go, because they won't know what you're talking about. And I can guarantee you, nobody in any Toyota dealer checks those marks. And, you know, well, they're saying now, you know, the service manager's been sent this video and he's going, oh, but you're saying it doesn't need to be checked. It doesn't matter, mate. That's what it's there for. You're the Toyota dealer, so you need to check that. I don't. I can change it because I'm not the Toyota dealer, you know? All right. So a couple of bolts in behind there.
And
a couple of bolts in the front.
Same, are they? Yeah, so, yep.
Do you know what I mean? They're not sticking the light down there going, oh yeah.
No, of course
It's all,
not,
yeah, no, it's got a bit longer to go yet, or your belt needs changing because it's stretched past the, you know, Toyota Japan engineering design user limit. It's time for changing. They're just going, whatever. You need brake pads, mate. You need shock absorbers. You need
Windscreen wipers.
wiper rubbers, some globes, maybe.
Cylinder cleaner. I was wondering.
Oh yeah, so there's a lot of cleaning that goes on there. Yeah,
cylinder cleaner.
engine cleaners and cylinder cleaning, fuel treatment. You need fuel treatment, engine oil flush. Yeah, environmental levies, oil disposal. You need tyres actually and all that.
Yeah. I've got to plug in the computer charge. It's a flat fee.
Okay.
Compressors on, alternators on, little brackets on, ready for the compressor clip. What's next then?
Change some bearings in the
Change those
pulleys.
3 bearings is probably the go, isn't it? All right, let's change out the bearings. If you haven't got a press, you can use the hammer and the vise. carefully. Wipe clean, a bit of grease, help things slide in. And we use the vise to press it back in, right? So this is one of the good ones over here, right? It's here, so open up a bit, I reckon, here. So we need to do for first. The old vise.
Bit more open.
Good lined up, yeah. Doesn't look that square, but you know what? I reckon it's going to be that easy. There's different ways to do this, but that's not another new bearing, is it? So we've got to not put that one in, right? So I'm going to stop there so you grab it. And add an extra bearing in, being this one first. Now, where'd you get that one from?
It's the old one.
Yeah, okay, well we want the new one first, right? Yeah, okay, cool, that's all right. How's going? How many new ones we got? I'm getting worried we put one of the old ones back in somewhere. It looks pretty good, doesn't it? Yeah? That sounds pretty good. This one here to support there, because if you support that edge there, you can punch the back out here. So I think that's it, actually. I know, nearly a little bit more. Might hear it actually. Yeah, I felt it stop anyway. See, let's go. No, definitely. Alright. Beautiful, look at that. Let's have a look at it, take that one off. Spin it around, have a look at the back, make sure it's all the way in. Yep, beautiful, job done. Use the vise to push the bearing out this time instead of the hammer. You might be lifting the whole can this old vise handle?
Yeah.
Looks like it. Once it starts moving, it's always going. This is a very old vise. The old Dawn.
Aussie made.
Alright, it's about it till we oh, it says Australian made on it, somewhere does it? Or it would be, but
Dawn's
it says
yeah.
yeah. There you go, not anymore though, wouldn't be, would it?
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Cool. I'll get one.
Yeah,
Finish it off with the hammer. Yeah, it's coming out. Hang on a minute though, you might need to make sure it's lined up, that's all. So when you feel it, just open up a little bit more. Get a bit sloppy with it, so then...
Slop.
Hey, nice hammer.
Vehicle technician's hammer.
Here it goes, you ready? You can lift your fingers in a minute. Lift those fingers. Ooh, ouch. There you go. So we're using the old pulley off the idler that we've taken off the bracket as a support so that we're pressing against the right part of the pulley, not the back of this. And using the vise to press that new bearing in. Look at that, beautiful, right? So you use your vise, Bill. Use your hammer, use your vise, use your head. Look at that, beautiful. When you feel it come to a stop, just don't lose it when you back it off. And we'll leave all these new special tools here next to this vise in the farm shed. And, well, yeah, where's the problem? New bearings, pulleys on, belts on, beautiful. Be interesting trying to put the fan on with that nut there. Alright, so what goes? Fan, shroud and fan must go in now, is it?
I think so.
Probably reverse order of what everything came off again. Boom. Fans on, fan shrouds in position. One nut on, two nuts on, three nuts on. Where's that last nut he said? This is what I do actually. I'll tighten those ones up and use tightening to spin it around to bring it to the top to get the last one started, yeah? How's that sound?
Yep. Is there a 17 there too, Danny? A big spanner? Mm-hmm. I want to use it as a lever on this.
Yeah, they don't need to be too tight actually. So once they get to where the belt slips, but you can angle, so rather than use a lever, you can angle which way you're pulling the spanner. So that instead of turning it, you're pulling away from the pump, you know what I mean? So you bring the spanner in, so you pull it away from the pump instead of spinning the pump. Makes sense?
No, I don't
Really?
understand what
No?
you mean.
So the way you got the spanner now is pointing directly out like the hands of the clock, so you're going to spin the pump. But if you turn it so it's in like that, even as much as you can all the way in, right, it'll still spin, but you're more pulling out towards you, you know what I mean? So that's what I do, and that's it. There's no putting extra spanners because that's as tight as it needs to be. But you can put extra spanner if you want, but it's just going to spin anyway.
I found I had to do it to get them off. It just helped with the. Is there a bigger one?
Just pull on it.
Yeah, 980.
Pull on it to spin it around to get that one lip of the nut. That's it. Beautiful. You are being videoed.
Right back in the same spot.
That's what you want. And then drop that and bolt it in, then you can pop that bottom hose down the bottom there, in that clamp. Yeah, a bit tight going in through there. Yeah, that's on a bit of a wiggle around. Sounds like a job for the molly coat or something, but no, a bit of lube, a bit of grease. Yeah, they are, yeah, a bit of a pain sometimes. Clean the MAF sensor, fill up the coolant. Nearly time to start it up. See if it starts, eh? What do you reckon?
So.
What do you reckon? What are the chances you forgot something and, you know, crank no start?
50-50.
Okay, what's this like? Let's have a look at it. Let's have a look. So yeah, it's a bit of dust on that, yeah, on that, and then we can't see in there that well without a light.
That's
The light on helps. Can't get the focus in there anyway, but we'll just give it a quick clean because if there's dust out here, yeah. So it's all pretty much back together. We cleaned the MAF sensor. We've only put 5 litres of coolant in. Everything else other than the intercooler covers on. We've got to do the injector compensation codes and the pilot learn and a few other final checks, but we thought we'd see after this massive job, I mean DIY style, first time replacing injectors, the whole manifold, the whole intake side off, the whole front of the engine. Surely he's got to have forgotten something and the car's not going to start. So let's see what happens. Not looking good. Oh no, it started. Look at that. Beautiful. All right, switch it off. We'll put some more coolant in it first and we'll do the injector compensation codes. You know that photo you took? And that way we can keep pulling coolant in. It's only taken 5 litres. And I really wanted to take more than that before we run it and warm it up. So we'll keep pouring it in and it'll keep going down.
5.
Yeah, 1-5. EF.
3 people to do compensation codes, mate. Unbelievable. What's this you got there? The I400? How's that going for you?
Yeah, seems to be okay.
Beautiful. Let's see if it works for the pilot learn as well.
FE.
Nice photo for the comp codes. Beautiful. Degreaser, final cleanup. And that's it, huh?
That's it.
Warm it up. Pilot learn. Job's done. I reckon we wrap it up. All the other details are in all the other videos anyway. Well, I reckon they might have learnt something out of that or had something watched that they enjoy watching, learning. Got to have it clean when it's all done, don't you?
That's it. Nice.
That's it, all right. Okay, well, pilot learn, that stopped, so it's kind of completed. Pilot learn has failed. What a load of... Confirm blinking pattern of glow light. Each item in the next screen, refer the repair manual. Oh no, what are we going to do now? I say rubbish, but you know, we'll do it again just to see. Please wait with the engine idling if the kitchen is whatever. What a load of rubbish. Anyway, this is what we're going to do, right? When you plug this in, was the engine running or not? No, okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to switch the engine off. Go ahead and switch the engine off, please. Right, now just exit out of everything there. Go right back, exit out, like you're going to start again. Lost communications, yeah, that's right, because we turned on, that's right. So just keep escape, get out, back to the start, whatever. Right, that's it. Just go right out of it. We're just gonna do it all again anyway, but I reckon it's done and we'll clear the codes. But let's see if we can clear the codes anyway. So what I'd like to do, let's unplug it and plug it in again. Just so it's a dummy and it starts again. No memory, because it hasn't got a battery in it, all right. It's dead, all right, let's plug it in. All right, start the car. Actually, let's just turn the key on. All right. I don't think we've got any code. Let's go into here and check scan codes and clear codes. So this is show people a little bit of how to use it.
Toyota. Others for this vehicle.
Just trying to get the light right. It's, you know, bloody reflection. Terrible. Yeah, that's it like that. That's good. Yeah, beautiful. That's the one.
Automatic selection.
Anyway, hit the like button if you learned something, you know. We're just doing all these long videos, a bit of waffle, bit of entertainment, bit of education, bit of information. Subscribe, turn the bell on, because we're going to wrap this one up soon. This is a really long one. Hope you've enjoyed it. Better put this one out on a Sunday night or something, when people, on a nice cold winter's night, keep everybody entertained, eh? All right, so it's going to get it to, but I just, yeah, I don't know about this failed business, you know. Don't know about that. Failed. I heard it do what it was meant to do, you know.
Scan
yeah,
for
do
codes.
that, yeah, that's it. So it's going to have a 1601 or something like that from memory. See, fault 12, you've got heaps of faults, mate. Look, this thing's got all sorts of problems. %. Okay, so what do we got to do? Let's go to whatever the faults are and see what they are.
Display DTC, I think.
Yep. It doesn't give you much, but you got to use those F1, 2s and 3s to, you know, press the, oh, you know, let's just do the quick erase button at the bottom, F1. Oh no, what happened there?
It all went into there.
Anyway, we'll wrap this video up. I reckon the Pilot Learn's done. We're going to clear codes. We've got videos on Pilot Learn and all that. So let's just go into there. Read codes. Yeah, let's do this. We'll continue for a bit longer.
There we go, 1601.
That's the one as planned. Startability, that's because you're cranking, it's not starting. So just clear all those codes, whatever, however you got to do that. Might have to step it out and go clear codes or whatever. You might press escape once and then go down to erase codes. That's it. And this here on the stop, yep. Yep. That's it. Clear done. Okay, so just for fun, let's start the car and see if there's any engine lights or anything, any funny business going on. What's the timing belt light on? Haven't cleared that one yet. Oh well, that's another job to do, isn't it? You know, this is a big job combined, so you got a bit of timing belt information there. We've got a video on that. Do you know how to do that?
No, I don't.
All right, cool. We can watch the video and do that later. Oh. But I reckon we wrap it up. We can do the Pilot Learn again.
Well, it's done, I think, isn't it?
Well, it is done. That's what I mean. But why did it say failed, you know? Because the light went off, blah, blah, blah. That's why I go, I don't believe it failed. I've never had it fail before. We've used these before. I can't remember if it said failed, but they don't normally say complete either. They normally say nothing. You just got to wait till the light. I know, you know, that's about how long it takes me. It takes me ages. That took, what was that, good 5 minutes of pumping it? Felt like more than 80, yeah? 120, 140 is what it sounded. You know, I wasn't counting, but
Felt like a lot.
yeah, exactly right. Where Johnny, he gets it done real quick, mate. He's smooth. Mate, job's done in like 2 minutes. Yeah, I don't know what he's doing. He's got a magic wand or something. Anyway, whatever. I'm not worried about it. You can always do it again later. See how it goes, and if need be, we'll do it again. So, looks like the i400 does work to do comp codes and a pilot learn on a 2014. So another video that includes that. Another long video. Whatever. All right, got to go. See you later.